Picture this: a tiny metal box on your desk that's quieter than your fridge, uses less power than a light bulb, and still crushes tasks that used to need a giant. It's noisy $2,000 gaming PC. That's the Mac Mini. Fact. And weather. You're looking at the current M series models or the future M5 version people are already dreaming about. The real question is simple. Can this little box actually replace your main computer, or will it be a very expensive paperweight? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly who the Mac Mini is for, who should absolutely avoid it, and how to choose the right version so you don't waste a single dollar. And I'll share the one mistake almost everyone makes when buying a Mac Mini that quietly ruins the whole experience. Let's start with what the Mac Mini really is. Ignore the marketing for a second. Get the specs and think of it as a power module. No screen, no keyboard, no trackpad, just raw computing power in a brick that fits in one hand. Plug it into almost any monitor or TV, add a cheap keyboard and mouse. You've got a machine that can browse, edit 4K video code, design, record music, or run a small business. It's the opposite of a flashy gaming tower. It just sits there, quietly doing work. Right now, the Mac Mini runs on Apple's M series chips, and by the time you watch this, that might be M3, M4, even M5. But the core idea doesn't change. Apple Silicon crams the CPU, GPU, and memory into a single, extremely efficient chip. And that's why even the cheap Mac Mini runs cool, stays silent, and still feels insanely fast for most people. So who is this thing secretly perfect for? If you're a student or working from home, the Mac Mini is a dream. You can grab a decent 108p or 4K monitor for cheap, pair it with a budget keyboard and mouse, and suddenly you have a clean, powerful desk setup that doesn't scream gamer. Cave in the background of your Zoom calls, where web browsing is instant, office work is smooth, and video calls don't sound like your laptop is about to take off and fly away. If you're a creator, a YouTuber, photographer, podcaster, or designer, this is where the Mac Mini becomes scary good, because that small box can edit multiple 4K streams, export videos fast, and handle Lightroom, Photoshop, Final Cut, Logic Pro, Xcode, and more without sounding like a jet engine. While you stack external drives, audio interfaces, and SD card readers around it, so everything lives on your desk, and the computer itself basically disappears. And if you already own a good monitor, maybe from an old PC or a previous job, the Mac Mini lets you keep all that and only upgrade the brain, which is a big deal, because instead of dropping a ton of money on an all-in-one like an iMac and being stuck with whatever screen Apple gives you, you can choose exactly the display you want and upgrade it whenever you feel like it. Be honest, if you've been considering a Mac Mini, you've probably been stuck on questions like, is the base model enough? Is 8 gigs of RAM a joke? Should I just wait for the M3, M4, or M5 Mac Mini instead? So let's attack those one by one. Everyday stuff, YouTube, Netflix, email, countless browser tabs, Office, schoolwork, even the smallest M series Mac Mini eats that for breakfast. And for a lot of people, that's 90% of their life. So if that's you, you're not going to outgrow this thing anytime soon. Where it gets tricky is heavy work. Video editing, 3D, big coding projects, huge spreadsheets, or music with tons of tracks. For that kind of work, Apple Silicon is still extremely fast, but you have to be careful with configuration, especially memory and storage, because you can't upgrade them later. They're built into the chip, and you get one shot. Okay, the simple rule is this: if you mostly browse, stream, handle documents, and do light photo editing, the base chip with the base or slightly upgraded RAM will feel great. But if you edit video, work with massive photos, run virtual machines, do serious coding, or expect to keep this machine for many years, you should lean toward more memory and more storage than you think you need. Not double, not crazy, just one notch above what you were planning, and you will not regret it. Now let's talk about that. Should I wait for the M5 Mac Mini? Question? There will always be a new chip coming. When the M2 came out, people said, wait for M3 when M3 arrives. They'll say, wait for M4, and you already know what's next. Just hold off for M5. It'll be a huge jump. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll still be scrolling comparison videos 3 years from now on the same old laggy laptop you hate. Here's the mindset shift. You don't buy a Mac Mini because it has the latest number printed on the chip. You buy it because for the work you do. Starting now with a fast, quiet, efficient desktop will make your life better for the next 3 to 5 years. If the machine in front of you right now is slowing you down, crashing, or making you avoid work you actually want to do, the cost of waiting another year is higher than the benefit of a slightly faster chip, and the best time to upgrade is when your current computer is holding you back. Not when a rumor account on social media tells you something bigger is coming next fall. There is one legit reason to wait. If you are within a few weeks of a known Apple event where they usually update Macs, and every reliable source is saying a Mac Mini refresh is basically confirmed, then sure, pause. But if you're hearing vague chatter about an M5 Mac Mini that might possibly maybe show up next year, that's not a plan, that's procrastination with a tech excuse. So when should you not buy a Mac Mini? If you need portability, this is not your machine. The Mac Mini is tiny, but it's not a laptop. And if you're constantly on the move, working from coffee shops, campuses, clients' offices, or planes, this is the wrong tool, and you should get a MacBook even if it's less powerful on paper. Because the best computer is the one you actually have with you. If you are a heavy PC gamer, especially playing the latest AAA titles with ray tracing and mods, the Mac Mini is going to disappoint you. Yes, more games are coming to Mac, and Apple Silicon graphics are impressive for work and light gaming. But if your main priority is Mac settings gaming with the freshest titles on day one, Windows with a dedicated GPU is still the safer choice. If you need internal upgradability, swapping GPUs, adding PCIe cards, cramming giant drives inside the case, the Mac Mini will frustrate you, because it's more like a sealed appliance than a Lego PC. You can add tons of things externally, like drives, docks, and capture cards. But if you live for opening the case and tinkering with parts, you'll want a traditional desktop tower instead. Now here's the one mistake almost everyone makes with the Mac Mini. The one thing that can turn a great machine into a daily annoyance. They cheap out on the wrong part. Not on the chip. Not on the RAM, but on the storage and the monitor. Here's how it happens. You tell yourself, I'll just get the smallest internal SSD to save money, and I'll grab some random old monitor from the closet. I'll upgrade later, but later never comes. 6 months in, your internal drive is full. Everything feels cramped. You're juggling files between drives, and the washed-out screen in front of you makes even a powerful Mac look unimpressive. If you want the Mac Mini to feel like a premium Mac experience, give yourself enough internal storage so that your system, apps, and active projects live on the internal drive. Then use external drives for archives, backups, and big cold storage. Files and pair the Mac Mini with the best monitor you can reasonably afford, with decent color, good brightness, and a comfortable size. Because that screen is your window into the whole machine.